Hey, what is up and welcome back to another wrestling update video. Did you catch how Rhea Ripley just turned into an orc thanks to Asuka's green mist? Man, that was a great one. Anyway, today we got a jam-packed show coming hot after WrestlePalooza. We're talking about a surprise match finish, some backstage praise for a top star, and the latest on a historic rivalry. Let's get right into it. Cena vs Lesnar, the final chapter. Did we just witness the final chapter of one of wrestling's most iconic rivalries? At WrestlePalooza, Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena in a one-sided match that lasted less than 10 minutes. This generated a lot of buzz, with many fans speculating that it was a setup for a final epic rematch, perhaps even for Cena's last match ever. However, according to Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Live, that's not the case. Sources within WWE have reportedly said that there are no plans for another match between the two legends. It was their final time wrestling each other, and Brock is not going to be Cena's last opponent. While the finish was a head-scratcher to some, Alvarez speculates it was booked to give Lesnar a definitive win and set him up for a future title shot. It seems like the book on Cena vs Lesnar is officially closed, and if you ask my personal opinion, it does seem to me that Brock Lesnar has miles in his career, whereas compared to Cena, it does seem like the end is near. Backstage morale under the TKO era. Everyone is wondering about the state of WWE's backstage atmosphere now that the company is under TKO banner. Sean Ross Sapp of Fight recently provided some insight, and it's a mix of good and bad news. According to Sapp, morale is definitely not perfect, but it's a huge improvement from Vince McMahon's final years in charge, specifically between 2016 and 2022. During that time, he said many wrestlers described themselves as miserable, which is no longer the case. However, Sapp did note that a lot of talent is frustrated with having to answer questions about the company's controversies from the media and the public. It seems like the workplace is healthier, but there are still some lingering issues from the past. Well, it just seems like it goes from a family company all the way to becoming an actual proper corporate company now that Vince McMahon is gone. ESPN's harsh grade for WrestlePalooza sparks debate. WWE's new partnership with ESPN is off to a rocky start, at least from a critical standpoint. Despite ESPN executives promising unbiased coverage, the network's review of WrestlePalooza has caused a lot of discussion. ESPN reporter Andreas Hell gave the show an overall grade of C, saying the only thing that saved it from being truly average was the excellent match between Stephanie Wakera and Io Sky. The review called the Lesnar-Cena match underwhelming and said the main event was short. It seems AEW's Ricochet took notice of the grade, commenting on it publicly. The grade and the backlash show that while WWE and ESPN are business partners, the criticism isn't off the table, which could make for some interesting television in the future. Backstage praise for Becky Lynch's work with AJ Lee. Becky Lynch is getting a ton of praise backstage for her performance at WrestlePalooza. The mixed tag team match, which saw Becky and Seth Rollins take on AJ Lee and CM Punk, was a huge success, and much of the credit is being given to the man. Fightful Select reports that officials were thrilled with how Lynch carried the match, especially since it was AJ Lee's first match in over a decade. This isn't the first time Becky has been praised for this kind of work. Sources noted her matches with Lita, Nikki Bella, and Trish Stratus as other examples. It's clear that Lynch has built a reputation as the go-to person for working with returning legends, and it's a role she reportedly sees an exciting challenge. If you ask me, Becky Lynch definitely have amazing character work this year, and it's too bad that Naomi had to go away this year, because it will be great to see who is the top women of 2025. Backstage details on Cody vs McIntyre match finish. The main event of WrestlePalooza between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre had a very different original plan. According to Bodyslam.net, the initial finish called for Randy Orton to accidentally cost Cody the title, giving Drew the victory. The idea was to extend the rivalry between Cody and McIntyre, and then eventually turn Orton heel once Cody won the title back. However, WWE ultimately decided to go with a clean finish, with Cody getting the win and keeping the title. The company pivoted to an immediate Cody vs Seth Rollins feud instead, which was made official on the post-show. It's an interesting look at how quickly creative plans can change, and it seems WWE decided to fast-track one of its biggest rivalries instead of a long, drawn-out storyline. While Cody vs Seth is another match that I'm excited about, I just felt so bad that McIntyre is not getting what he deserved, especially with his killer performance in this past few years. What are your thoughts about today's news? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in another wrestling update video.